grab your thumb panel out of piece A. In the pattern it advises you to add a metal handmade tag at this point. I'm only adding a woven tag on this bag. So I fold my woven tag in half, now popping the logo facing down, and pin or clip into place and sew it on the baseline. Please skip this section if you aren't making my handles. Put your faux leather to one side for the moment. Open up your fabric strips wrong side facing up. So, going over to your iron, fold the top and the bottom long edges to the centre and press into place. Repeat this for both pieces. Now you have ironed them, I personally like to run some fabric glue in the centre and finger press so they don't pop open. Do this for both pieces. Next, grab your faux leather piece and get an either wonder tape or low tack double-sided tape. Run it along both sides of the centre line. Do this for both pieces of faux leather. Now getting a bone folding tool or something you can use for creasing the edges, fold one long edge up to the centre line, making sure you peel away the backing of the tape as you go. When you have stuck it into sections, crease the fold with your chosen tool. Repeat this for top and bottom long straight edges, and repeat this for both pieces of faux leather. Now you should have 4 strips which have been folded. So our end result of this step will be the fabric will set perfectly in the centre of a strip of faux leather. So the way I do this is getting tape again and tape all the way down the centre of the faux leather strip. Then peel the backing off of the tape and line the fabric in the dead centre so it sticks to the fabric in place. Repeat this for the other 2 pieces, making sure you add clips as you go along. So we need to sew these into place. Now top stitch 1/4 inch from the faux leather edge, making sure you catch the fabric side. Do this for both handles. So now I've sewn them into place, I ended up doing a second line of sewing 1/8 of a way from the faux leather edge, making me have 2 sewn lines on both sides. Now going back to the pattern instructions. These steps are the same for the webbing handles or the faux leather handles. So, find your centre and mark. Now either side of that centre mark 1.5 inches either side. So these marks will measure 3 inches wide. Do this for both handles. Now fold that centre mark area. Long edges to long edge will meet. Match up the marks and do this for both handles. Now we are going to sew this 3 inches up on both handles. Now marking your centre of one of your outer panels, like I have pinned on the top edge. Get your rule and measure 2 inches down. Get some tape and stick some to the right hand side. Peel back the backing. Now grab one handle and placing that handle down, mine is fabric facing down, and stick into place, making sure edges line up and it's 2 inches down from the top edge. Now measure in from edge at 1.5 inches, and now we are going to sew this 1.5 back and making a box with a cross in. See step 36 in the pattern. Now we have sewn that square with a cross in, we need to thread one of your D-rings onto your handle and thread this all the way to the square that we've just sewn. Using some tape, stick a little bit down onto the panel and then stick your handle onto it. We are now needing to sew this into place. See step 37 in the pattern. Now you have sewn that line, getting that tape and stick some more down. Now measure from the raw edge 4.5 inches in, and you will need to sew on the top and bottom of the handle. See step 38 in the pattern. Now that's sewn down, once again get your tape, but this time we need to pop it on to the faux leather first. Now grab that handle and fold it up so it forms a triangle on the handle section. I now tape this triangle bit to the outer panel. Now going to your sewing machine, sew this triangle down. See step 39 in the pattern. Now you have sewn that triangle, I now grab the rule, making sure I'm still 2 inches from the top edge. Now we need to roll this handle, and I do this by working back into the centre from the opposite raw edge. So grab that tape, stick some down and place the handle down with the fabric side facing down. Mark 4.5 inches from the raw edge and now sew it down from the raw edge to the 4.5 mark. See step 42 in the pattern. Now you have sewn that 4.5 inches rectangle, we need to repeat the triangle. Do this side of the handle and sew it into place. See step 43 in the pattern. Now it is sewn, repeat this for the other outer panel. Now this step is an optional extra, adding rivets. So I'm adding rivets to my triangle areas on both panels. I do this by making a hole with my leather hole puncher and in the triangle. Then put on half of the rivet through the hole, and on the wrong side of the panel add the back of the cap of the rivet. Then I use my press to press the rivet close. Repeat this for all 4 triangles on both panels. Sewing the darts on the outer panels. So those base stitch lines we did for the darts are now coming in handy. We now need to fold these darts matching the sewn lines together, and that is the fabric side to fabric side together. Clip or pin so they don't move and stay in place. Do this to all 4 darts. Now we need to sew down that sewn line to close the darts, making sure you reverse your stitches at the start and at the end at the sewn line. Do this for all 4 darts. Now you've sewn them together, I personally trim the excess away and open up the seams. And baste them down so there is hardly any bulk. Now your darts are sewn, you'll notice that both panels have a lovely rounded bottom. It's finally the stage we all love, sewing the bag together. So, on one panel push the darts up so the curved edge is up, and push that D-ring inwards so it's out the way. Now grabbing the other panel and making sure the D-rings is pointing inwards, the darts are now pointing together. Put both panels together right side to right side, matching up key areas. The top raw edge, the darts match up, and that handle matches up on both sides. So grab your clips and clip all the way around the raw edges. Now we have clipped it all together, so 1/8 of an inch all the way around, locking the stitches at the start and at the end of your sewn line. Now it's sewn all the way around, trim off the excess seam allowance by half. And pull the bag right side out. We are now going to bag the bag. So getting that outer bag, pushing down your handles downwards so they're out the way. Place the outer bag inside the lining part. Make sure that lining zip pocket is still open and keep it open for the rebirthing of the bag, and keep double checking as you go along. So making sure your handles are inside, pointing downwards and out of the way. Match up the two side seams and pin or clip on the raw edge. Then do the centre top of the panels and then clip all the way around. Now it's clipped all the way around, we need to sew it 3/8 of an inch from the raw edge all the way around, locking those stitches at the end and at the start of your sewn line. Now that's sewn together all the way around, we need to trim off the excess seam allowance. I trimmed mine back by half. So this is where the magic happens. Remember that zip lining pocket we left open? Well, it's now time to open it and pull carefully the outer part of the bag out through that hole, making sure you dig out all the corners and pushing all out, even the lining part. Once you have done that, pull the zip pocket lining out, and now we need to close up that hole. So tucking up 3/8 of an inch upwards into the pocket, give it a press with the iron and clip. Take it over to your sewing machine and sew it closed. Once you've sewn it, we need to push the zip pocket lining inside the zip pocket, pushing those corners out. I do this by a pokey tool. Once you've done that, go over to your iron and give it a good press, the lining. We need to push that lining into the outer part of the bag now. Keep pushing it until it lies flat and there is no creases. We need to roll that top seam, so from the outer edge you cannot see the lining fabric. Go over to your iron and give it a good press, rolling that seam as you go. We have now given that top seam a good press. Put pegs all the way around the top. Then take it to your machine, top stitching 1/4 of an inch from the edge all the way around. We have top stitch all the way around. Now go to your iron and give it a good press, but be careful, do not go anywhere near the faux leather or it will mount. Once you've given it a press, pop the bag to one side. We have nearly finished. Moving on to the shoulder straps for the faux leather. If you're doing the webbing straps, follow the pattern instructions. Grab that faux leather. So the short ends, we need to run tape along them and fold 1/2 inch inwards and crease so they lie flat. Do this for both ends. Then run the tape on both sides of the centre drawn line. Now we have tape both sides of the centre line. Peel back part of the tape backing, fold the long edge up to the centre line and crease. Do this all the way along and repeat for the other side. Now they are folded, the two long edges need to meet and fold together. Clip this as you go. Now it's clipped with clips. We need to top stitch both long edges 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Now at my sewing machine, with a stitch length 4, I stitch along the two long edges, ensuring I remove all the clips as I go along. So grabbing that slider bar, feed it through the first side and then feed the end back through the other side. Clip it together, so we need to sew a line to secure it into place. I've set a rivet by the slider bar as well as next to my sewn line. Next, grab one of the hooks and feed it onto the strap. Feed it all the way so it's close to the slider bar. Now we need to feed that end of the strap through the slider bar through both sides of the slider bar. Then to finish the strap, get the last hook and put it on the last end of the strap. Fold the strap back upon the strap and sew into place. If you want, add a rivet. Now your shoulder strap is finished. Attach it to your finished bag and hey presto, you've finished. Give yourself a pat on the back. I want to thank Mrs. H for letting me feature her pattern. Also, thank you to you guys for joining me. And I hope to see you next time. Bye!